Alright, so this flight was because I was visiting a friend and I ran home, and when I ran outside, I noticed that the sunset was looking absolutely fabulous. As you can see, my shoes don't match, but I do that fairly regularly to wear in both pairs of shoes at the same time and make them last longer, kind of, because I'm swapping them out, my play shoes and my work shoes. Some outfits demand black, and other times I can wear red, and I like to wear the red ones, but I can't wear them all the time. And then, so I get up in the air and I take a good panoramic of this sunset because I thought it looked absolutely fabulous. I mean, all the way around, all the pinks, the blues, the purples, just the light, the dark, the everything. It was fantastic. But of course, I can't just take it up in the air and look at the sunset and expect that to be my video, so I wanted to highlight that that's where my van is. And then I'm flying, and this is Cedar Crest Village, and you're gonna get to see most of Cedar Crest Village. I don't fly it over the entire park because that would require me going all over the place, but I do fly it as far as I can, and that's part of what I do every time I take my drone up. Well, almost always. There is an episode coming up where I don't fly it the total distance that it could be. It's just because of what it is, and I think I'm going to blend that with another one. But every time I fly it, or almost every time I fly it, I try to go as far away as I can, and that's because I'm always exploring with it. I always want to show as much as I can, and I want people to be able to see as much as I can, show them, and so that's why I go as far as I can. And it allows you to see, like, the cuts in the trees and where the power lines go, and where you might be able to get if you followed the power lines, which this case is all the way out to the boulevard. I fly out here, I get all the way out to the boulevard, but I'm starting to have issues with the distance, and it's starting to have some issue because I'm so far away, and it's like at 1,200 feet in distance. But as you can see here, you can see the riggins at the corner there. That's Wheat and the boulevard. And then you can see that trucking place and how they're parked. And then because I couldn't go any further out, I then started going over this other way. Peter around a little bit, you can see how Cedar Crest is cut out of the forest, and you can see a little bit of that development off in the distance there. And I'm having some issues with control because of my distance, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but I'm gonna end up trimming a lot of that so you guys aren't getting dizzy while you're watching. But you can kind of see how the trees are starting to change already, because this was only about 2 weeks ago, and it was during the time where I wasn't allowed to upload, but I still keep making videos, because if I'm not allowed to upload, that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to make stuff. And if I for some reason can't be on YouTube because I get a final strike, which I think is completely not gonna happen, because by the time I can upload again, which is probably tomorrow, I only have about 5 days before that first strike goes away, so I don't see that being a problem. And ultimately, I've appealed the 2 strikes that I have, and I don't expect them to be a problem. But if you guys are wondering, that's why I haven't been uploading. It's because I got a strike for one of my cis videos that they were saying that I was promoting violence, and by no means am I promoting violence. And the other one, they were telling me that it was a sexual fetish, and by no means is it a sexual fetish. So I don't get any of that. And I also appealed the other one that was the Miami Seaquarium video, which apparently was leading people off of YouTube. I don't get what that was. But you can see that development there, and you can see how that's cut out, and you can actually see Bradway trucking in the distance. And then I flip it around and I fly a little bit, so you can kind of see a little bit more of North Violin and what there is there. I'm not very high. I want to say I'm about 125 feet. And there's another angle of Cedar Crest and the amount of trees that are in there. It's interesting because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of trees in there, but when you see it overhead, it looks like there's a lot of trees. You can see the total size of the park, which is interesting. And at this point, I'm working on coming back to my home point, which is where my van's parked, which I'm having issues with finding because it's hidden behind that tree there. And so I come back, and you can kind of get an idea. And maybe because some of my subscribers are actually based in the park, I think maybe some of you might be able to pick out your house in this. And I'm not saying that you should comment and say which one it is, but there's my house. I can see it. I can see the kayak on top. And then I go down the descent. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I had to actually look because it didn't look like it was moving for a second. But yeah, I come down, and as I come down, I think I spiral it a little bit to try to make it more interesting. But I remember doing that. That doesn't mean that I did it in this video. You get a good view of the top of my van. Look how pretty it is. Oh, there it is. I spiraled it a little bit so you can see that Harley. And this is a point where I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Of course, I'm always welcome to new people. I want you to check out my other videos, and they're going to pop up. I really want you to like the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see all my friends later.